be able to share this later on down the road. All right. Thank you, everybody, showing up on time. I do appreciate it. And like I said, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I just have a few things to go over. I'm doing this today because I will be out in San Francisco next week. So I'm not going to have as much time as I'd like to do on a Monday morning. So first of all, I'm going to go over a couple of things that we have. First of all, pricing. The change that we're making in the pricing. Also, I'm going to go over, actually, we're going to go over this right now. The first thing I'm going to say is we have, as a company, closed a couple of locations. I'm letting you know this only because I don't want your people, your customers coming in and saying, because they heard from a competitor, that, oh my gosh, there's something going on at Fellers, they're closing locations. We closed 2 locations. One's Pensacola, and the other one is Tucson, okay? The reason we did this is because both of those locations were very small, and to be honest with you guys, we never should have been in those locations to begin with, okay? Pensacola, we have been, the only reason we did that was a knee-jerk reaction against our competitors who moved into those locations. We decided to make sure we had a presence there, but we didn't do it right. It was a knee-jerk reaction. So we are rectifying that knee-jerk reaction over a couple of years ago. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. So, we already know Tim from Tucson, or I think I told you this, is going to be our warehouse manager in Mesa, Arizona. He started that last week, or actually the 30th of, actually no, it was last Friday. So he is now our warehouse manager in Mesa. So we didn't lose anybody as far as that goes. We also replaced or took the salesman in Pensacola, and we had an open position in another place there in Florida that he was able to move to. So anyway, okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is the 1080 wall displays that we have been accustomed of giving to customers when their need arose is going to be ending. We are not going to be doing them free of charge anymore. They are now going to be a stocked item or an item that we can sell on our website. Proposed pricing right now is about $199.99 for that wall unit. So just letting you know that this is going to be ending here pretty shortly. And we are, of course, have the Avery units that will be or we will be selling as well, but I do not know when that will happen or what the pricing will be on that. They plan on shipping those free units that we gave them the list for sometime end of this month, beginning of next, okay? Any questions on that? Okay. Had a couple people sent out an email about the 1080 psychedelic. Guys, I'm working on trying to figure out how we can make it a better process to where people who are waiting or want to put their name on a list, I don't know if that's going to happen. We do not do back orders. Our system does not give us that opportunity, and we really don't want to get into the issue of back orders and things like that. We are waiting for stock from 3M. The last order we got, which was last week, was gone within a half hour. We had no idea. Nobody told us that it was coming or that it was in. However, we were told that it was coming. However, the problem with that is that 3M said it was coming for 2 weeks before it actually showed up. Then they said that we were going to get 100 rolls. We actually only got 30. So regardless of anything, the psychedelic material is just right now a pain in the butt is what it is. And I'm using butt because of the fact that we have people on here that may not like ass. Okay, yes, thank you, Angel. All right, so I know that everybody and their customers are wanting to have this product. Unfortunately, I have no idea when our next one is coming in, and we are working to see if there is a process that we can put into place to make it so that people who want to put their name on a list, we can do that. But I don't know if that's going to actually happen. But we're trying to see what is possible to do here pretty shortly. Will I know something today? No, probably not until next week. Okay.
How can it so out and never arrive in my warehouse?
I'm sorry.
How can it so out and never arrive at my warehouse?
Yeah, that's all right. It never arrived at anybody's warehouse, Angel. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to bring in right now. I'm going to share. Let's see. Which screen do I want to share? I'm going to share this screen here. Hold on just a moment. Can everybody see the price request form?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We're going to go over this one more time because we've still got some issues of people not necessarily doing it the right way and everything else. So you see the price request form here. You see where we have the rep's name right up here. That would be your name. We have the warehouse. That's your warehouse. In other words, AQ, which would be Albuquerque. Top 100 number is the customer number as far as within the top 1 or 100. So whatever their number is, 57, for instance. Customer number, of course, is their ship number, ship to, and that's their customer number, and the customer company name. Okay. We put in the date, today's date, the catalog code, the group number, detailed description, and the price that we give them. If it's a price we are matching because we have documentation, we put the competitor name in here. Make sure you provide the documentation you received when you send in this stock request. Everything else you leave alone. Okay? Does anybody on that questions? Now, I'm also going to show you, one I did yesterday for a couple days for a customer. Okay, this one's for Warehouse SK, which is Salt Lake City. This is for
It's your daughter.
I'm sorry.
You got a picture of some lady on there.
Of your daughter graduating.
Oh, damn.
Very nice photo, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Very nice photo.
I don't think Janet will like that price request.
Yeah. You can't see my, okay, you're not able to see my price request form?
No, it's your daughter.
I'm sorry, just my daughter. Okay, sorry guys, hold on a minute. I don't know what happened on that then.
You must work for Grimco.
Yeah. Oh, gosh darn it, guys. I am sorry. Well, let me try to do this then.
We're just going to tell them that Ted's told us we could do this.
Yeah, right? Right.
Okay, but at least it's a nice way of getting your daughter in to see us all. That's awesome.
Right. All right, I'm going to share a different screen then. I don't know what happened, but let's go ahead and use this one. Can everybody see the price request form now?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, damn.
Is this how you're trying to save money to pay for tuition?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the nice thing is all my daughters have graduated, so I don't have to worry about it. What is share screen? Nobody can see my price request form?
Daughter. Still see your daughter.
Yeah, same thing.
Well,
There you go.
nobody can see it. I apologize. I do not know why it's not working.
We can see the price request form now.
Oh, you can. Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. So you'll see that I did this.
It's the one that's filled out. Is that what you wanted?
That's the one I want you to look at. That is correct. So I filled this out a couple days ago for a customer up in Salt Lake City. Number 20, as you can see, the customer number, Metro Display is the name of the customer. Okay. I have the date in there. You have one from 4/4/2017 and you have one 5/31/2017. This is the proper way to put a stock request form in. Make sure that you have the date and everything that you are going to do within that date. No longer do we want to make sure that we have it separated in different areas like colored vinyl or anything like that. It's going underneath the date. It's confusing too, and things get missed when we don't have it in this format. This is the reason why we are doing this. And I'm going over this again. Make sure.
Are we no longer highlighting in yellow the current one we're working on?
No need to put it in highlighted yellow as long as you put it in the date. And you see I bolded the date out, or that whole thing. Let me unbold this here. But you should be able to, on this, as soon as they see the date, they follow everything underneath that date until it stops. If you have another date in here, then this right here, unbold it and bold the new date or bold the new products. That's all you have to do. It's pretty simple. No longer do you have to put it in yellow. No longer do you put it in any other color, just the date. But if you are doing it wrong, then they're going to miss it. They're not going to put everything in there. So don't put it in a date in different places on it. So for instance, you change the date or change this pricing right here for the first one, 4/4/2017. If you're going to change the price, then you take it out of that, put it under the new date, today's date, and update price. Okay? Detailed description. This is the way you do a detailed description or this approximation. You don't have to do it exactly this way. But it has to match, first of all, it's 2921EZ, 2921EZ, and it's an Avery product. Printable calendar vinyl, no big deal. If you want to put that, you can. You don't necessarily need to, but I do it. That's the way I do it. And make sure you put the size and times 150 or whatever that happens to be. Why are we doing that? Because sometimes people will put in here, for instance, they'll put this as 60/150 and not put the description, but they wanted 54. Because you didn't put the description, nobody knows what's going on. They double check, making sure. If it doesn't match, they look at the price. Then they send you an email. Which one do you want, 54 or 60? The price shows 54. Okay? Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You see down here, 3640, I have M or G because it's matte or gloss. You can put it this way, just the way it is, and then you do it the same way over here. That way you only use one line item for the customer. Also, one stock or price request form for a customer. You don't need to do one for every single time that you do a new price request or anything like that, except for when the form changes. When the form changes, you don't put in or go and copy everything from an old price request into the new one. You don't need to do that. All you have to do is start on the new one with that new one. Okay? Does that make sense, everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
Questions on this?
I have a question for the MC180 MC combo.
Okay.
Because when I set up as a combo, Janet said there's no combo.
There is no, that is correct. We don't have a combo. You will not set up the MC, but if your customer, of course, we are doing the combos and the customer can only buy it as a combo, right? Because we are reducing the price of the laminate at this point in time. So I'm sorry, repeat your question, Angel.
Okay. So since we don't have a combo when the customer call in, do they order as regularly, vinyl and lamp? because they could get away with that order the vinyl. And
That
then,
is correct. Here's how it works, is they will not get the pricing for the laminate unless they order it as a combo pack. They cannot order the laminate separately. Okay?
so the inside sales rep doesn't need to type as a combo.
No, they do. You can put it as a combo. We have it set up in our system as a combo. Yes, you can do it that way. That's the way we do it, as a combo. But it is not, it is not considered a combo to our customer or to when we're talking to anybody at 3M or anything like that. We do not sell them in a combo or a kit, even though we have a kit price or kit stock number.
So
Go ahead.
So Ted, here's what I did to answer Angel's question. I have the exact same thing. So I went in and I put in the 8518. When it's sold with the MC, I have it set up so it's $433 for the 8518, and I put in my side detailed notes. This is only this price when they're buying the 180 MC and 8518 together. And Janet said, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So that's what I did, Angel, is so that whenever they buy the quote unquote kit, even though we don't call it a kit, they get that price of $433 a roll. Now, if they buy it separately, then it's obviously more, but only whenever they buy both of those items together do they get the 8518 at $433 a roll.
Yeah, but when they call in, they have to give the customer, the inside sales rep, the product code that we created as a package, not a combo, but
Correct.
as a package, right?
Yeah, that's what I did. Yep.
Yeah,
that's
but
exactly
now
what I did.
Janet telling me there's no such thing in the system.
No, it's there because it's the only way that we can, because we can't call it a kit, but if you look on a pick list, whenever it prints out and they buy both of those items,
Yeah,
you read the description, we internally call it a kit. Externally, we call it two separate things. So I told Janet the same thing. I'm like, well, I can sell product A that's price locked, but I need product B that goes with it to be discounted because you're trying to be competitive. How the hell do you want me to put it? And she's like, oh yeah, just put in the notes and then we can override. So whenever we see that, we know that individual gets that laminate with MC at a discounted price of the laminate. And she was cool with that. So I've got 5 clients that are buying those MC kits for $1,068 or $1,065, whatever it is.
Okay. Because I give the guy the code when they call in, there's no
They look-
price there. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like
So
I'm telling him individually, tell him injury product, because that's the reason that I came up with this. I'm like, well, why they can't put a note? And a lot of inside sales rep doesn't read their note, or they don't know what this combo is.
No, they don't know.
Okay.
Think of the inside. They don't know nothing. I mean, I'm not saying that bad. They just they don't have a clue of what we're trying to do. But I put in my price request, catalog code 3M 8518 54150, the group number, whatever. And in the description, I put 8518 54150. This price when sold with IJ 180 MC together, and then I put my special price of $433 a roll, and then that's how I submitted it. So then they should know when they buy product A and product B together, it equals $1,000.
Okay, that's what the problem I have, like you. I was like, well, what do I tell the customers call in? Just order the lamp and the vinyl.
Well, that's the thing
individually?
is, what are they telling customers? So what do they officially say to customer service so they know what they're talking about?
I told my client to say, I'm buying the 180 MC and the 8518 together. I should have special pricing. Can you verify? I always tell my clients, verify with them. And if you don't get the answer you want, keep pushing until you get the answer that you're looking for.
Yeah, but
Well,
sometimes
that
people
that
find
kind
out-
of, because you're not setting everybody up for a price request. So the people who are buying it for the first time when they call in, will customer service, Ted, know that they're saying, I want to buy these two things together. This is the price I'm getting. How are they going to understand what that means?
Most of the time, no.
Usually I've had good luck with it, but I have had an incident like you just said that, they're like, what? No, we don't do that. And it's like, I think there still needs to be training on the back end and training on the front end so that both parties are talking to each other and internally better. I would agree with you there.
Hey, Brian, I'm going
Yes.
to ask you to do me a favor. Send me a real quick email on that because I'm going to touch base with Mary on that to make sure that we are training the inside salespeople about this particular MC kits.
Okay.
Just so that I can do that. If you wouldn't mind doing that, please, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Does anybody, I mean, does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody else have any other questions? Brian, thank you very much for telling us how you do it. That is the correct way. I didn't explain it properly, Angel. I do apologize. Sometimes my head is thinking that I'm speaking the right words and I don't sometimes. My wife has a problem with that all the time.
It's okay, don't worry.
Okay,
I just want to bring it up because it's frustrating for the customer to call in. And
sure.
it's frustrating for me. It's like, how do I set this up, you know?
Yeah.
And then when they call in, the inside sales rep doesn't understand. And they're going to call me like, what's wrong with your inside sales? How come they don't? It just became a problem all the time.
Right.
And then I can't call in. They're like, we can't call in. And, you know, so customer had to call in. So they get frustrated. They're like, no, I don't need to buy this. I just go somewhere else.
Right. I get that. All right. We're going to move on, guys.
Ted?
Can everybody now go ahead? You had somebody with a question?
Yeah, it's Chuck.
Yes, sir.
Hey, on the price request I sent in yesterday, I added to an existing one, and I left a space between the previous entries and the 4 new entries I made yesterday. Is that okay, or do you not?
No need to leave the space. Just go ahead and add the new date and unbold anything that before that date and bold out the new date. Does that make sense?
Yes, but the new form that I'm using, anytime that I try to make a change to something I've already entered, says that this cell is locked.
That is correct.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, the top cell may be locked. I don't understand why. And then if you skipped a line, it was fine.
No.
Okay. Then I will send out a new form to make sure that it's fine for everybody. And see if that will work. Okay.
Okay, and then once we get this new form, any price requests we have, we'll do a new one for that customer on the new form.
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly right. The new form is going to be it's going to be the exact same, except for, of course, it should not be locked. I don't understand what happened on that, Chuck, and anybody else who's had that problem. Not aware why, but I will send this new one to have you guys look at it. And if you guys have a problem with it, then it's something to do with me, I guess. I don't know. So
Now, Chuck, are you highlighting say you have a price request form already filled out. You got 5 items that you did 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And then you add 2 more line items. You're highlighting those yellow, correct?
don't need to highlight them yellow anymore is what I was saying, Brian, earlier.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. That's
No,
great.
but and for instance, when I was doing this yesterday, I copied and pasted a catalog number off of Fellers.com, and I put it in the AB catalog code column. And then I went back and tried to change that, and it would not allow me to do it. It was already locked.
The description, or not the description, but the
It didn't matter which column. Once I had put it in there, it was there.
okay. Then don't do a copy paste anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually,
Go ahead,
whenever
Paula.
I run into that, guys, I hide my line item that's jacked up, and I just make a new line item underneath it. I just hide it underneath the, how you can go to the
Yeah.
side, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever line item. I just hide that line item if it's jacked up.
That's a great idea. Does everybody know how to do that? If you don't, watch my screen. Everybody can still see the price request form.
Yes.
Go down, do a right click on the line item you want to hide, and go down to hide. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll try that. So maybe you don't have to send out a new form.
All right, let's try that. Before I send out a new form, Chuck, I'll let you try that, and then you call me and let me know yes or no it worked. If it didn't work or whatever, then I will send out the new form.
Will do.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions on price request form and what I just went over?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Again, the reason we want to make sure that everybody is doing the same way is because a lot of times price requests, if they're hunting and pecking, trying to find out what's new and everything in the form, they miss things. And then we get upset with them because they didn't set it up because we didn't give it to them properly. It's one of those things. So we're going to try to do this the right way all the way through. So that's why I'm bringing this up. Okay. All right. Next thing. Can everybody see cheat sheet? Let me know when you can see the cheat sheet.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sent out an email last week or so saying we're going to be changing a little bit about how we're doing our cheat sheet or pricing our customers. Okay. What I meant when I said that was don't go to the very far right anymore. Try to do some at the C or the left portion right over here. The reason why is because we've got people in Tulsa that are not understanding why we're going all the way to the right cheat sheet. Now, I know, and we all know, we have to be competitive. So when it comes to competition and everything else, generally this left-hand form or left-hand pricing is pretty decent. It may not be as competitive as we want to be. For instance, the 15-inch 757 then goes down to 722. If you are going against Grimco, even at the 722, we most likely will not win. Okay? Only because of the fact that we know Grimco will go to the bottom every single time, and it doesn't matter who that is. But again, we just need to tell the customer, listen, we'll match anybody's pricing or beat it, but we have to have that, some sort of documentation in order to do so. Documentation, anything below this right-hand pricing is required, not suggested. It is required. If a customer refuses to give it to you, and everything, then they really don't have that pricing, or they're, some people are very reluctant to do so. If you put your eyes on it, then you are responsible for that. You are the documentation. You have put your eyes on it. If I start seeing emails saying, okay, I put my eyes on it, documentation, and the price is this, I'm going to ask you, then I'm going to want, if I start seeing it all the time, I'm going to require you to get documentation written form. Okay? I understand that we want to be competitive. I understand we want to do the best to have customer service. We are customer service people and salespeople rolled into one. I understand that. We all do. However, it's becoming more and more increasingly difficult when we go right to the right-hand column anymore and we make hardly any money. So that's why we want to make a change to it as best we can. How do you do this? Best way. Customers ordering one roll, guess what? They get that price. Customers ordering multiple rolls, first of all, you should be calling me to see if there is a better price, but you can go to this price pretty comfortably if they're ordering more than, let's say, 9 or 10 rolls at a time. You should be calling me on 10 rolls anyway, just because maybe there's something else we can do besides even this. If they're ordering 5 rolls, use your best judgment. Questions?
Nope.
Thank you for understanding.
Ted,
Yes.
yesterday I got a call from Inside Sales for John's customers. So I always quote on the left or higher sometime. Then later on, she's online was lower than what you quote me. So I was
Well,
looking,
that is correct. Guys, okay, go ahead, Angel. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
yeah, so I was looking at the Oracle 3165 RA online. It drops to 216.99, which is right on the left column.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was
Well,
like, okay.
everybody, you need to keep this in mind. Inside sales, Janet and Stacy and everybody, they're trying to keep us competitive with all the online pricing. When Grimco, for instance, or got InGlance decides to lower their price, we check them daily. Actually, we check them several times a day. Sometimes they go in there and they reduce their price down to below our right-hand red column. Okay? You give the red column and they say, well, it's cheaper online. You guys should be checking both before you give a price. Of course, the online pricing can change hourly. It just does. Or it can, I should say. It doesn't always. So you're supposed to be looking in both places before you give a price. You give a price, customer says it's lower online. Well, guess what? You get a great deal. Go ahead and order it online. Okay? Unfortunately, we cannot control that. We can't be, changing the cheat sheet every hour because keep in mind how many line items we would actually change. On the products that are always sold, or they're one of the most common products, you should be checking online before you get pricing. Does anybody have a question on that?
So who's doing the changing online? Stacy, Janet, or?
Both of them. Both of them, and or they have somebody else that's actually making the change. And like I said, they can change it hourly because, somebody calls in and says, oh, I found it cheaper on InGlance's website. We'll go and see it, check it ourselves, and then we'll lower it to that price or a little bit less than that so that we're not being non-competitive.
But why she can't change it, or why is she changing online? She can just go in the sheet because the cheat sheet's on the Dropbox anyway.
Angel, again, if she were to do that, then that would be a full-time job for somebody, and that's just not practical.
Okay.
So that's why they're doing it online. Because, okay, first of all, the cheat sheet, it changes. If we were to do that, the cheat sheet would change every hour. You give a price, and all of a sudden the price goes back up on the catalog, online catalog. Price goes back up the following day. Well, you've set up pricing for a customer that is less than what it should be. Okay?
So you saying online price can change constantly based on the competitor price online. So
That is correct.
If the competitors drop the price today, Friday, and then Monday raise up the price, we will change on our.
That is correct. That's why you see on the IJ180 CV3, it says in our cheat sheet catalog only. A lot of these things say, well, they're trying to make it so it says catalog only because that means you have to call me.
Okay.
Because we need to make sure, because those are volatile products. Those are products that are changing sometimes every hour that it can change. So we're trying to be as competitive as we can, and we want people on our online system to be able to see that. That's why it changes or can change all the time on that. It's not a perfect system. It really is not. We wouldn't be doing this if our competitors would not change their prices and put specials or do things like that all the time throughout the day. We'd have one good price and everybody be happy. But no, we don't have competitors that play by rules that we like to play by.
Okay. Well, it's good to know. I didn't know that we're constantly changing online based on.
We can, not all of them, Angel. It's the higher, like the 3640 is a product, or 3641. Most likely will not change except for maybe go down to, let's say, 108, 110, something like that, because we have a competitor that does that a lot. The IJ180 CV3, as you all see, is price, or it says catalog only. Call me on that. That doesn't mean we don't honor the other prices that we've set up or that we have better pricing we can do. It just means that that's a product that really can change daily. So call me on it, and we can still set up pricing if we need to differently than what's in the catalog and everything else. Okay.
Okay.
All
Can
right.
I say one thing?
Yes.
Can I say, don't you think that's like kind of like bad business by changing prices constantly? Because it makes it look like we're,
Paul,
whenever
again,
customers see it-
our competitors are doing it. And everybody says well, you guys got to be competitive online. That's the only reason we're doing it. We don't want to be doing this. We really don't. It's not bad business. We're just keeping up with everybody else.
I'm just thinking, I get all the time in hearing, every time I get my invoice, there's something different on it. It's like, well, it shouldn't happen that way. That's what we hear, which makes us look like we don't know what we're doing.
What do you mean it's something different
Which
on
the
there?
competitors are really bad about that. Well, if we're changing the prices within every hour, what if the customer calls back, a week from now and the price is, $10 less or something? Then they're calling me saying, why is my pricing different? It's like, well, and I try to smooth it over, but it makes us look like we're idiots because we can't get our prices the same.
You tell them exactly what I just told you. Our competitors change their prices online a lot. We've been asked about many of our customers nationwide that we want to be competitive. They want us to be as competitive as everybody else. So when a competitor changes their price, we try to stay in line with them. We don't want to change our prices. This is stupid, because when they reduce the price, we lose money. Everybody does. But if you would be mad, basically you find it cheaper online, $10 cheaper from a competitor than us, you're going to go to that competitor. That's why we have to change it. That's why we do the changes. I know, it's like I said, it's not a perfect system, guys. It sucks.
But why they can't call the customer, call us sales? That's what we're here for. I mean, we can put a certain price, not too
Right.
high, but not too low, but kept it like we are, honor our price. So if it's lower, just put a note down, call your outside sales rep,
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm misunderstanding that.
Okay, I mean, instead of constantly changing, maybe we just put like maybe a price that are not very high or not very low, what's in the market. So anything lower, just tell the customer, call the outside sales rep, see if they can work better price. So that's when we step in and find out what's the competitive price, and we can give them individually. Instead of they order online and then next day or 2 days later, price changing again,
Okay, again, I maybe I'm misunderstanding that. That's what the cheat sheet is for, Angel, is so that we have a pricing that, and again, the online pricing may change and go down. Okay? If that happens and it's less expensive than our cheat sheet, customer they'll be charged the lower price. The cheat sheet is there as far as not a end all be all. It is a guideline. I'm misunderstanding. I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to get at.
Well, Paula is saying, we constantly changing price when a customer call in, order online, like next week, the price change, and they calling her and complaining, hey, how come my price is constantly different? Right, Paula? Am I correct? Can she hear me?
She's just trying to get off of mute.
Then lock
Yeah.
him in on price,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
That gets you away from that. Lock him in on the price.
Okay, so,
Exactly.
Kevin, you're right.
We
Paula,
don't know it. I said, that's right. That's what we're for. And that's how I smooth it over, but it makes us look pretty
Okay,
stupid
so-
at the beginning.
All right, so guys, so you lock them in at the cheat sheet price that you've set up for them. All of a sudden they call in and the catalog price is cheaper than the cheat sheet. They get the cheaper of the two prices. Okay? They either get the catalog price or they get the cheat sheet price. So if your customer says, well, why is it cheaper online? Because it's volatile, it can change. But you are locked in at this price. But you always get the cheaper of the two prices. So your customer, If they're charged a higher price, it's because of the fact that next week the price goes up there, and they call you and say, well, why did the price go up? Well, you're still locked in at this price that is cheaper than the online catalog. Sometimes the online catalog will go below this, but you will always get the better of the two prices. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry if, it's, again, the customer will always get the better of any price that is either set up or online. If a customer is getting upset because the price goes down or fluctuates every week, just explain to them it's because our competitors' prices change. We change with the competitor. Okay? But you're still locked in at the lowest price we can possibly provide, except for when prices can change at the cheat sheet. Whichever is lower at the time that you place your order, whether it be the, I'm sorry, not cheat sheet, but the pricing we set up for you, and the catalog, whichever is cheaper, you will get charged at the time that you call in to place your order. You will get charged that cheaper price. Okay? All right. Last thing. No, two more things. Stock requests. You see on here, I'm going to send this out to everybody. I added a date field to make it so you have one stock request for a customer. This works just as good as having, I don't like the individual stock requests for each individual item. This is also the reason why we wanted to put a stock request folder on your, underneath your pricing request forms. Start putting your stock requests into that stock request thing that I put under your price request form on Dropbox. Okay. I will send this out.
Sorry, I said mine doesn't have that on there.
Who's that? Erica?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I have Fellers Reps, SD Price Request, and West Region, but I can send that to you later.
Look under price request. Like I said, it's under your price request. You'll see a thing that says SD stock request.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's all right. So I'm going to send this out. It has a date field. Why? Because we just go ahead and add a new date. That way the our people inside can actually see, okay, we've already set this up on this date, and then here's the new one, here's the new line item and everything else, okay? If a customer has canceled or said they're no longer going to be using that, just delete that particular one from this, that particular line item, okay? Questions? Reason I'm asking you to put the stock request in under that stock request form now is because, for instance, for me, when we have a customer or a salesperson that leaves us, like we did with Salt Lake City, customers say, I had a stock request and I don't understand why you're not honoring the stock request, why you're not stocking this in the warehouse. I can't look to make sure we have a stock request. So I make phone calls, and it takes me sometimes a day to get back to have a response back saying, yeah, we do have a stock request, and they just paid, or they just ordered 10 here and 15 here. They, they took everything we had the stock request for them. So then I can call the customer back and say, well, this is reason, this is what happened. Or they say, I'm supposed to have a stock request. I can look and say, well, we haven't set one up for you, but I will go ahead and do that for you right now. I don't want to have to duplicate efforts, of course. And, then I get an email back from our stock people saying, well, we already have a stock request in there. Do you want to up that stock request? Okay. So this way we can just take a look. I can take a look, or whoever, maybe you're moving on like we have with Pat, who has, is now part of our franchise team. Since he moved on and everything else, then, I would be able to go in and see what we have stock requests for just by looking up the customer number. Also, that brings me to another point. For stock request or price request, something that is in here that is not something I like is this. I would like to see the customer number in here. Customer number at the very beginning, for instance, all the way down here, like I did down here at the very bottom. The customer number, price request, and the name of the company. Okay? Why do we want to do that? So I can go up here and take a look in 206110 and pull up 206110. You see all this? I would never have known that they had all these different ones, but it did bring it up. It's a lot easier when you have it here. You can actually do a real quick search and be able to see it with your eyes as well. Does that make sense to everybody? This is not
So can I have a question?
Yes.
Also do an individual stock request as well as on the open forum, because how do you, I guess that's the way you find your customers, is on a great big list, one big list for everybody in my territory?
No.
Normally I find my inventory request based on customer name. That way I can go right to it and add to it and also verify. Am I just doing this?
Okay. For a stock
So
request,
no.
you do one stock request form for individual company,
Okay.
not particular products, an individual company. Like this
Sure.
one here. Okay. Is that what you're saying? That's what I've been
Well,
saying.
yeah, I already do individual. I already do. I've been doing individual stock requests forever, and I just add to the same, say, it's Wholesale Sign Solutions or something, and add to it or whatever, and then I send it into there. You want that other one filled in as well?
No. I'm just
Oh.
saying I added a date line so it was easier, so we knew exactly when that date of that stock request was.
Okay.
That's all.
So the date line is what's new on there then? Okay.
That is correct.
I got
Yeah. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not duplicating
Oh.
records. Right. Okay.
you. So what do I have to make a new one, so I'm going to be transferring my info from other stock requests onto the new one with the date line, but I don't have the dates for those.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
Okay.
if you want to transfer it, you just put that in the very top. It's quite all right, and then you put the new date of whatever you're doing,
Okay.
or
Okay.
let's say put it at the very beginning of this year. The start, for whatever it is, put it 1/1/2017. Doesn't really matter. Okay.
Okay, just start using a new one because of the date line. Gotcha
That's
now.
quite all
Okay,
right.
thanks.
All right, very good. So the reason, I can go, if I do the 206110, it does bring it up because it finds it in there, but it just makes it a lot more clean when you see it this way, at least for me, guys. If you wanted, this is just the way I've done it for a long time. I guess it's mainly for me, not for everybody else. You can do it either way because I can look it up, but we want to be able to make it so it's clean and easy to be able to see. Okay?
Ted, can I add to that?
Yes?
Hey, guys, it also makes it easier for me if I happen to be covering your territory. I know who I'm looking for. Or if for some reason the territory is empty. That's how it started in Alan's territory with us before. I couldn't tell who was what and where was what, and it was just a disaster. So it makes it easy for those of us on the other end as well.
Okay. Questions? All right. Last thing. Guys, everybody has been doing a great job. I get calls. I don't send out emails. I should, but I get calls from most of you saying how much, you've got big jobs, this, that, going this way. You got a big order that's coming in. There's something that you've been working on. And I just want to tell you all that I do appreciate everything you all do. I really do. May not say it in an open forum or may not send an email out, but it is appreciated. And I want to give everybody a pat on the back for everything. And every day you guys are out there doing things. You guys are always out there. You're working hard. And I really want to say thank you for that. Bringing all that up, I am going to put a special shout out to Brian right now. Brian has worked on something down in Mesa that is going to be exploding. It is something very, very big and just happened. He's been working real hard on it, and I just, wanted to say thank you. And for people who do that, I know, Brian, you don't want accolades. You don't care about it. However, I just wanted to say that, okay?
Thank you, Ted.
All right. Does anybody have anything else they want to discuss real quick? This has taken a little longer than I expected. I thought I'd be done by 10 o'clock. Unfortunately, I'm not.
This is Jane. I need to talk to you, Ted.
Okay. Offline or now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll call you when we're done.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Ted, is somebody, how a customer have orders and on hold? Are they having somebody calling the customer while away? I mean, 'cause I got complained that, he was on hold and nobody called him.
On hold? Why were they on hold though?
He doesn't know why, and then later on they realized and it was a credit card, but he told them specifically on a note to put on there, if the card he gave at that moment doesn't work, just use his backup card. So, order never went out, and then when he called in, find out it wasn't on the phone. So he was
Okay.
kind of upset. So I just wonder, is anybody in Size Wrap, if there's an order on hold, do they contact the customer, or they wait until like next day or something?
No, they tried.
I just heard the same thing.
She told me
Yep.
that they never pick up.
Okay, well, first of all, I will tell you that the credit department, if it's a credit card issue and there's, it's being declined, then, it goes to the credit department. Credit department tries to find out exactly what's going on. Problem with that is, guys, is the credit department is right now very short stock. They've only got 3 people. Okay. And for all the orders that come in, that's why, sometimes an order or a decision on a Net 30 application comes in way late, is because they've only got 3 people to be able to take care of that. They're still trying to find people to be able to help, but it's not just picking somebody off the street. They have to have something else that they need. Okay. Now, is that the answer? No. The answer is they should be calling. There should be somebody calling saying, hey, your credit card was declined. Is there another form of payment? Okay.
Nope.
I understand. What I will do, Angel, is if you would do me a favor real quick, send me an email on that. And do we have somebody to call when a credit card is declined so that we can get a different form of payment? I will go ahead and check into that and see exactly what we can do or what's going on with that. Okay?
Okay.
All
Because
right.
he said he specifically told so many times inside sales rep put a note there that if that credit card he gave you is not what, use the one his backup, the one that he gave us.
Okay. Well, and that is, I don't know the answer to that one. If it's a particular customer that has put that notes in there, and it sounds like that's what you're talking about,
Yeah.
give me the customer number and I'll check with Mary to find out if the note is in there. And if the note is in there, then basically that means the customer service person didn't read the notes. That's a, and things like that are going to happen. If your customer says, well, we have notes in there, guys, we're all human. Things happen. And, the customers need to understand that sometimes this can happen. If it happens all the time, then we've got a problem with the notes. And that's what I need to know. And so we can try to fix it. Okay. All right. By the way, if anybody has asked, nobody's asked, and I'm pretty surprised, how is our call hold time going? Well, if you don't know the answer to this, it's less than 90 seconds.
I had a customer give me a compliment yesterday saying that things have gotten a lot better on customer service picking up.
Yes. So I just want to let you know that, they have been working on it. We have all been, being very upset about the fact that hold times and everything else. They are now getting to a point where they are have enough people to be able to handle the calls, and the call volume is even higher than what it used to be. So, okay. Questions?
Happens every year.
Anything else?
Yeah, one more thing. The pain in the whatever. When are they going to pay us for the last deliveries that we made, Ted?
I sent an email on that. I haven't heard back, but he's been traveling, so I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Tim, why was that discontinued?
I thought I went over that, but maybe I didn't. The reason it was discontinued, Chuck, is for now, is because we had somebody who, a couple people actually, who took it upon themselves to get hurt when they were delivering product. Why did they get hurt? Because they picked up something they shouldn't have. And it went, so we're trying to figure out logistically for, people who get hurt, what exactly happens. We had people that were not being smart about what they were doing. Okay. So it screwed it up for everybody else. Now, they are still looking at bringing it back. However, they still need to, they're checking into different things, and I'm not sure exactly what the answer is of when they're going to bring it back for sure. Okay? Anything else? Okay, guys. Thank you very much. I'll be, like I said, next week I am going to be in San Francisco. So I'm going to be very limited to my access to phone and or email. Still send them, but just understand I'm going to be slow to respond. Okay? Thank you again. Have a great weekend, everybody, and keep working. Keep working as hard as you've been doing it, okay?
All right.
Thanks, Dad.
Good
Thank
weekend.
you.
Have a good day.
Bye, guys. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
Bye.
Hey, Ted. Ted, you still there?
Yes.
Hey, Heather had a family emergency, so she'll be calling you.
Okay. Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's okay with her. I guess something just came up, so she'll be calling you. She just texted me and just said, "Hey, when is the call still on?" I said, "Yes." So you might want to reach out to her real quick.
All right. Will do.